Hope everyone is having a fantastic day today. My name is Olivia. Welcome, as they say, all the YouTubers be saying, welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming to watch this video with me today, or spend 10 to 15 minutes with me today. You know, I have to say I've come a long way. Because when I first started social media, when I first had the desire to put myself out there and was kind of, doing it, I was so nervous. And I'm not gonna lie, I still get nervous to this day. But not only was I nervous, I was afraid. I kept making excuses as to why I couldn't do it today, why I can't do it this week, why I couldn't do it this month. Oh, I'll just wait till next month, or I'll wait till next week, or not today. I don't like it today. I just kept on making excuses because I was afraid and I was fearful of what people would say. Would I get backlash? Cancel culture, which is a whole nother subject because cancel culture is just out of hand. Everybody's a cop. Everybody's waiting for that, I got you, aha moment. And it gets old. And I understand why not only I was fearful, but a lot of people are fearful of getting on social media and doing something, putting themselves out there. Because everybody's just a cop. And everybody is, like I said, waiting for the aha moment to catch you in the act doing something that you shouldn't, which, how and yet are you going to make mistakes? How can you grow from your mistakes in the first place? But I was also fearful of what people would say within my vicinity. I live in a small town, not for much longer. And what do you expect from a small town? You expect people with small minds, small outlooks, small perspectives, only what they're used to, a small-minded mentality. Very basic people, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But when someone makes a decision within that kind of environment to do something bigger for themselves, to not be, why is my water bottle doing that? When someone makes a decision to not be mediocre and basic and they want to be excellent, they want to achieve, they want to grow, they want to evolve into something bigger, and putting yourself out there on social media also is a big one. You are going against the whole mentality of small-minded people in a small-minded town. And I knew some of the things that I was going to talk about on YouTube, on social media, just even putting myself out there in general, being authentic, was going to be some hard-hitting. I was going to talk about some hard-hitting topics. I was going to hit some people. I was going to hit some nerves, okay? I was going to be offending a whole lot of people. And, what I knew was going to happen has happened. But I had to do it anyway, no matter the backlash, no matter how I offended people, because I had a purpose in it. I knew it was something that I needed to do, which is hopping on social media. There was something that I could say for those going through the exact same things, for people who want to heal, people who want advice, people want to look to someone who gives them hope and encouragement, gives them like, oh, you know what, I want to be like her. I want to develop all these things. I want to evolve and grow. But when you start getting on social media, you will have a fear of being perceived and a fear of being seen because you feel as though it's unsafe. And the fear isn't necessarily visibility. I think it's vulnerability. Being perceived, people being seen means that people are going to form opinions. People are going to judge you. People are going to misunderstand you, whether on purpose, whether on accident. People are going to notice your flaws, your mistakes, everybody does that, as if we all don't make mistakes. But I feel like it's more like an exposure, like someone's turning on the lights. You feel like the whole world, your environment, people around you are deciding who you are before you even get to, are deciding who you can be and who you can't be, who you can evolve into and grow into and who you can't. And I feel like it is based in survival mode, not insecurity. It is very human and normal to feel this fear of being perceived and seen because we have learned to avoid rejection. Judgment feels like danger. It's fear. You become afraid of being judged. Your body treats it as a threat, so you stay quiet, so you stay hidden, so you stay small, you shrink yourself because it's a lot safer. I can blend in more. People aren't, I'm not different. I don't stand out. But what also comes from that is your childhood, I feel like, plays a large role in that too. Because, when you were a kid, a lot of people were being teased, criticized, punished for expressing themselves. People were told as a kid, be quiet, or stay in your place, or tone it down, or stop showing off, or be realistic. You are compared a lot to your peers, to your siblings potentially. You are shamed for having flaws and making mistakes. And I feel like those experiences that you hear at such a young age, because you are so impressionable when you're young, you begin to think that if I'm seen, or if I put myself out there, if I'm different, I'm going to wind up being hurt. And your inner child, as you grow up, your inner child will keep you small, will try to shrink you to protect you from that pain that you experienced in your childhood. And you begin to have a fear of being perceived and seen, because also I feel like it's also because you have a fear of losing control, what you can't control what people say about you. You can't control how people interpret you. You can't control what assumptions people make about you, whether they like you or not. And I feel like that lack of control can be very terrifying. I mean, it is terrifying. It's easier to avoid the spotlight. It's easier to shrink. It's easier to play small. It's easier to stay neutral, to not stand up for something. It's easier to sit in the background and be a bystander. But and yet hiding does not protect you. It will just limit you. And like I said earlier, cancel culture, backlash, social media has made everybody's fear of being perceived and seen so much worse. Not only everybody, but mine as well. We live in a world, unfortunately, where people will be hiding behind, the no face, what is it? The no face, like your picture when you have a social media account. People be hiding behind like the little human with the no face and it's gray. The no picture kind of, y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody in this world has an opinion, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, but everybody in the world has an opinion. Everybody has a comment. Everybody can screenshot stuff. Everybody can just judge instantly without hearing the full story. They immediately make this decision without hearing everything. So then you begin to think, oh, why do I need to put myself out there? What if they laugh at me? What if they make me cry? What if they think I'm cringy? What if they think I'm not relatable? What if I say something wrong? And like I said, cancel culture has gotten way out of hand. That people are too scared to even be authentic. Everybody's just a follower. Everybody is just, nobody wants to lead. Everybody is just anyway. And yet, those people who are judging you so hard are often too afraid to create something themselves, are often too afraid to even put themselves out there. They may judge you because you are doing something that they couldn't. You have something that they don't have. And, you start elevating, and then while they still stuck down here, they want to put you back down here. So you start feeling how they feel, and because, it's easier to control. It's easier. Yeah. But the thing is, some people aren't even paying attention. Some people are so busy with their own lives that they don't themselves that they may not be looking at you. Some people don't even notice what you're doing. And the people that do, the ones who are judging you, who are waiting for that aha moment, who are waiting for you to make a mistake and a flaw, as if we all don't make mistakes and flaws, they will not matter to you in the future. Those are people that you won't have in your life long term. And you're living your life like the world has a camera on you 24/7, but a lot of people may not be watching. And you're too scared to put yourself out there. And your fear of being perceived will block everything. It will stop you from posting your content. It will stop you from speaking up in rooms. It will stop you from, hey, you want to start a business? You won't be starting no business if you're scared. And it stops you from from expressing yourself in the way that you dress. It'll stop you from creating the life that you want. It'll stop you from being authentic. It will stop you from showing your real personality. It will stop you from, like I said, you will continue to shrink. You will start choosing invisibility. You will start choosing mediocrity. You will start choosing to conform over authenticity because it feels safer. And this is one thing I want to say. A fool has no shame. They will do anything and everything to get approval, to get validation, to get attention. They will do anything to get anything. They don't have integrity, don't have backbone, don't have self-control, no control of self, no wisdom. And unfortunately, there are so many foolish voices and people out there who are adding absolutely nothing to the world, nothing positive, just saying anything to get attention. But and yet the people who have an impact, the people that can help people, the people that can be a source of, you can be real, you can be relatable, authentic, the people who are going through the exact same thing, those people don't say anything. They are very quiet. And I say this because I was one of those people. We need more people to speak up, the people that are quiet, because they have an impact. What you are thinking and not saying really needs to be heard. I was shy and nervous because I cared too much. I had to get out of that because what I have to say is important. I was always recording, but yet never posting. I was always had conversations with people, but never made them into a video. And I had to ask myself, what am I protecting myself from? Who's that voice in my head that I'm hearing? Whose judgment am I so fearful of? Who made me feel that I am being too much, or that I am not enough, or that I can't be realistic, or I need to shrink myself, or who told you that? Usually it's a parent, it's a teacher, maybe it's a bully, maybe it's an ex, maybe it's your friend group, it's your environment, it's people around you who want you to play small because you're easier to digest, people that have known you since you were a kid. It's not it's not the strangers that you fear today. It's usually someone who you are familiar with that you're scared of and you're protecting yourself from. But and yet, perception doesn't define you. It just reveals their intentions. Someone's perception of you shows their insecurities. It shows their bias. It exposes their fears. It mirrors their limitations. It usually doesn't say anything about you, your potential, and your worth. You so scared of what someone else may say because you have a fear that they may be right. So the thing is, why can't you accept that fear and accept the labels that people put onto you, or they call you this or they call you that? People are always going to say something. Why can't you continue to be authentic and be the person who you are meant to be, regardless of what people say? And being seen, being perceived, is the price of living fully. You cannot be successful. You cannot be creative. You cannot be loved. You cannot be respected. You cannot be impactful. You cannot be free. You cannot be a source of encouragement, motivation, advice. You cannot be any of those things without being seen and putting yourself out there, regardless of your fear of being perceived or seen. It's one or the other. It's simple as that. It's one or the other. It's either you shrink yourself to not be seen, or you put yourself out there so that you can be successful. Like I said, you can be creative, you can be impactful, you can be respected. Which one you gonna choose? Okay, it's scary because it's unfamiliar, not because you're incapable. Being perceived, being seen is going to be uncomfortable, but and yet continuing to shrink yourself to the point you become invisible is very painful. And you deserve more than a life full of you shrinking yourself, making other people happy, you conforming to what people want just to keep people comfortable. You don't deserve a life like that. And unfortunately, people are always going to say something about you. They will always think something about you. A lot of them had an opinion of you even before you even had a purpose, okay? There was people before you who were called worse, called much worse, and yet they still went after what they wanted in life. Being perceived is terrifying, but and yet being perceived is what leads you to your blessings. And your fears are a container of your greatness. And until you get rid of them fears and you break out that container, you cannot reach the level of greatness that you are dreaming of and that you're seeking. And you need to start being authentic, because authenticity, when you let go of making other people comfortable, shrinking yourself, you become authentic. You let go of the fear of being perceived by people around you. And I always say this to myself, how much longer am you going to continue to shrink yourself? I had this conversation with myself. How long are you going to continue to shrink yourself and put a timestamp or delay your greatness, delay your blessings because you're so worried about what other people may say? Yeah, I had to have that conversation, and I'm going to be honest, I still have to have that conversation with myself to be more concerned about the purpose and the blessings that come with it rather than what people have to say. Because, the purpose and the blessings carry more weight than what people have to say and your fear of being perceived and seen. Because you don't want to do the woulda, coulda, shouldas later on down your life. I wish I did this, or I would have done this, or I should have done that. You don't want to do that. You want to put yourself out there. Like I said, your fears will be a container of your greatness. You don't want to have regrets. At least I don't. But hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their day. I appreciate you for spending 16 minutes with me, which is crazy because I used to not think I could talk for almost 20 minutes on a video, and yet here I am. But I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.